Welcome to Broken Kayfabe, the unofficial after show of Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry. And I'm excited today, Ariel, because we're going to be talking about some content that was discussed on their Patreon episode.
Sounds great. Just to let everybody know, if I sound a little bit different, it's because I'm using a new headset microphone. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one or switch back to the regular microphone, but we'll see when this comes out.
I'm surprised they even let you use a headset microphone in jail.
You know what? There's a lot I can get away with by doing favors for people. You don't hear me laughing, do you? No, just kidding.
No, discussion of jailhouse favors that happens in another group, not the Breaking Kayfabe Budget group.
No, this will happen on our Patreon group thing. No, actually, I picked up a headset at work from the vending machine, and I want to see how this goes.
Hold on, you have a headset vending machine at work?
I have a computer, peripheral device. Is that what you call it? Device vending machine. Yeah. So, computer, mice, keyboards, headsets, USB, thumb drives, stuff like that.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, I work in tech. I mean.
Well, just because you work in tech, I mean, you got to have a vending machine. I sell houses. You see a house vending machine?
You know how big a house vending machine it would be? No, yeah, we have those things just in case. They're usually outside the IT department. So when the IT department's closed and you need like an extra keyboard or your mouse isn't working or whatever, and just pop into the vending machine and go get one, and then it gets billed to your department. So yeah,
I'm amazed by you each and every week.
Why? It's just a vending. You know what? I wish they had the panty vending machines like they have in Japan. Okay, never mind. That's something else. That's on the paper.
Okay. So this week we're going to talk about topics discussed on this past week's episode of Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin Barry, the Patreon show. And if you're not a member of their Patreon, then you really need to go and subscribe. They give you at least 2 extra episodes a month. So instead of 4, you get 6. So you get 50% more episodes, if I did my math correctly, and I believe I did, for only $5. And you're supporting these guys who really work tirelessly and with a lot of effort, not effortlessly, tirelessly. And they put in a great deal of effort, do some research, and have these conversations, and you're supporting them. Another way that you could support the guys there on the podcast, Lord Barrence Rose and Jeff Baldrin, is by attending the CWF Legends Fan Fest. And the next one is June the 4th in Lutz, Florida. I see more and more people are coming. I really want them to have a sellout. And I don't know that it'll happen this time, but hang on, I was searching and I got distracted.
Were you looking up Japanese panty vending machines?
No, I'm looking up the Fan Fest just so I could give some details on it accurately. I should have done that ahead of time. Maybe I would if I were trying to be just a little bit professional. But June the 4th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. But trust me, after 9 p.m., the shenanigans just are getting started. So you'll be up to 11 or 12 should you choose to partake. I believe we rolled back in there about 1 o'clock in the morning and had some good time. Some of the best conversations of my life happened after it was way over with and kind of in between the sessions. But it's located at the Residence Inn by Marriott, Tampa Suncoast Parkway at North Point Village in Lutz, Florida. But if you just go to the Google and look for CWF Legends Fan Fest, there's an Eventbrite page with all the details and how you can purchase your tickets. Tickets are still available. I don't think that they have any more rooms at the group rate in the hotel, but there are a couple of other hotels that are nearby.
Sounds great.
So some of the brother shippers that I know will be there. Drew Samuels, we talked about that on the last podcast. And by the way, someone messaged me and said that was the best podcast that we have done so far.
Oh, so the rest have been shit. I knew
it. and Drew really put over Michael Herrick and Brandon News and some other brother shippers in there, and a couple people reached out to me and said they were thankful for the kind words. But let me just say this: I know Jen and I are sponsoring a couple people to come, and I'm not discounting that. But there's a lot of brother shippers who are helping brother shippers get there. We're not the only ones that are helping people, but we are getting a lot of the word, because we are bringing, and paying for airfare and all that good stuff. So, hey, there's a lot of good people in our group, and I think that we're all really lucky and blessed to have each other.
Yeah, when I heard that, I didn't even know that was going on between brother shippers, and that caught me by surprise. I was like, wow, that's very generous of them, and I'm so happy to know these guys, and hopefully I get to meet you guys, to meet all of you guys at the at a fan fest sometime in the future.
Yeah, me too. So I was just looking for my daughter's in a singing show tonight, and she's singing "Someone Like You" by Adele, kind of a big deal. I'm really, really proud of her. So we were looking for something for her costume that she's wearing, and I remember I had some old vintage jewelry up in the attic, and so I climbed up there on my old man knees and got them out. I got two red necklaces I thought that would go nice with her outfit. And while I was up there, I found a program from a show that it's a magazine, not actually a program, from when my parents took me to see Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. And also I have let me see what magazine it is. Inside Wrestling. It's got Masked Superstar with a mask like the one that I used to have on it. And he's got Blackjack Mulligan and a not rear naked choke. That would come much later, and just a rear chokehold. So, and then another story on this cover. And I'm talking about this because, our good friend Steven Javorsky has the Wrestling Magazines. I think it's called Wrestling Magazines Plus Facebook page. You should all go like it. He posts some cool pictures of magazines. But Ricky Steamboat quits wrestling. The real story behind his most painful decision.
It's probably his wife.
Oh man, you're gonna spoil it for everybody?
Well, it's not exactly like breaking news. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, this magazine I've had since April 1984.
Wow, I was 3.
I was 11.
Damn, really?
11 years old.
Oh.
Not 11 months.
Well, yeah, but that's a while back. I mean, I barely remember. I barely remember that year.
Yeah. The other one, I'll send you some pictures. But okay. I don't know the date on this, but I remember. Now I haven't opened this in forever, but I remember in the back it's got Blackjack Mulligan and Bobby Duncombe Jr. And they had a Texas Death Match. Oh, here it is. And I remember thinking that they were actually trying to kill each other. And so I don't remember Bobby Duncombe on TV. So. And then this is, I remember the Iron Sheik, Jimmy Snuka, Gene Anderson, the manager. There's a picture of Ric Flair wrestling Gene Anderson. Paul Jones versus Baron von Raschke. There's a centerfold of Ric Flair. Here it tells where you can watch Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. There's a picture of Box Baker and like a very clean cut Matt Bourne. And then the Hammer and the Crippler. And I remember this picture of the Crippler in the corner because I couldn't tell what part of whatever it is. And to me, it looks like he is like squishing this guy's head. And like the guy's just completely, his head's like obliterated, like he's like poking his eyeball out or something. I'll
Oh,
send you. I'll send you a picture of that too. And it always kind of freaked me out because I didn't understand human anatomy. I thought you could crush a head, easily. And then they have the Mass Superstar 1 and 2.
Okay.
And that one's kind of ragged, but hey, it's my memories, and I don't care.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's your memories. So, I mean,
Okay.
I don't. Uh, my memories consist of WWF, like in the late '80s. That's when I started watching wrestling. So, yeah, it's not really good memories, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they're not. I wish I could have seen like wrestling back in the day. But I was really, I mean, living here, all we had was like at the time just WWF programming, and that was it. And then GWF on when it was on ESPN, and or is it? Yeah, I don't know. Some AWA in its dying days, a little bit. My dog's barking. She
Can't hear it.
senses danger. You can't hear it?
No.
Oh, okay, she just woofed. All right, but yeah, I just grew up watching WWF back in the day, so.
Well, so whether you were into the WWF back in the day or Mid-Link Championship Wrestling, you should come out and see Bill Eadie and Barry Darsow, and Medusa. And we'll be doing the cup of coffee. Just announced this past week was WCW Superstar Glacier.
Mm-hmm.
Glacier, and then he's going to be doing the after party where he'll talk about being mentored and trained by the American Dream. We also have Bob Roop, Steve Kern, Leilani Kai, Bill Alfonso, and the Saint, also known as the Cuban Assassin, Dave Sierra, among other things. So, kind of the deal here is it's gimmick mania. You got the people who had a couple different gimmicks going on.
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
Super excited about it. I think Medusa's going to be amazing with the cup of coffee. And then you get 2 hours and a dinner with the Demolition, Axe and Smash, Bill Eadie, Barry Darsow, and then Glacier, who is a legit badass, will be taking us home at the after party. And then after that, I'm sure that some of us will go to another venue, such as Glory Days, and have a nice big meal and tell a bunch of lies. And then we'll come back to the hotel and see what kind of shape some of the boys are in.
Yep, from Glory Days to Glory Holes. So much fun.
On that note, speaking of Glory Holes, let's talk about some comedians.
Let's do this.
So they talked about this list that's on E-Bombs World, and I used to love E-Bombs World back in the day. And the title of this, I'll call it article or page, is 20 Successful Comedians Who Lack Real Comedy Chops. So, this is this person's opinion, or this group of people that put this all together. And so some of these, I sort of agree with and I got, but, it's all opinions, right? I mean,
right.
Who are some of your comedians?
Favorite comedians?
Yeah, of all time.
Oh, of all time. That's a good question. I have never thought about that before.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
And then you can just say, yeah, I like them too, whoever I say.
I'll just agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. Some of my favorite comedians, Mitch Hedberg.
Fucking love that guy.
Yeah. Dave Attell was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Chappelle was hilarious. And I'm thinking of some ones that I may have seen in real life. Well, I actually did see him in real life. Not a fan of Tracy Morgan at all as a person or a comedian. That character that he plays is a funny character, but aside from that, he's an asshole. Oops, sorry. I forgot my daughter started here. He's a jerk. And you want to hear the story?
Sure, of course.
All right. So in around, I don't know what year, I mean, 2003 to 2005, I lived in the part of 2005. I lived, so for about 2.5 years, I lived in Raleigh, right near Charlie Goodnight's Comedy Club. And my roommate worked there. And so I got to see a lot of comedians. I could probably look back at a list and tell you, but off the top of my head, Tim Wilson was another that was really good. Brian Reagan was hilarious. And one that I saw there was Tracy Morgan, and he wasn't that funny. And then afterwards, he's sitting up there with his, I'm going to call him his crew. And my roommate walked by and he says, "Yo, my man, get me a Captain Coke and some cigarettes." And my buddy's like, "All right," and never took him anything. I mean, really, that's not, you know, that's not how you talk to people, right? You know,
No,
I don't have to tell you. So it's like the fact that he can talk to someone like that, you know, and where's he think this person's supposed to go get the stuff, right? I mean, he was a bartender. He could have got him a drink, but he's just going to go get a pack of cigarettes. I don't know. How about please and thank you, and then how about tipping? And so my roommate told me not once anything that he gave him did not give him a dime, a tip, a nothing. Was not a thank you, not a pleasant person. So not a fan of the Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, that's shitty. I don't like when people are like that. But now I had time to think about it. I love Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr is hilarious to me. Lewis Black. I like the angry guys.
Okay.
I like some of the angry ranting guys. Dave Chappelle, of course. Russell Peters. And let's see. I like, okay, you know, this might not be a popular opinion. I don't give a fuck. I like Carrot Top. I like the prop comedians. I mean, like, look, Amazing Jonathan is fucking amazing. He does magic and everything.
Sadly, we just lost him.
I love Amazing Jonathan.
I also saw
like
Carrot Top.
He saw Carrot Top.
Yeah, he was hilarious. His show was very, very entertaining. And I saw him from nosebleed seats. Someone that I was dating at the time got tickets. And I look, I'm not a snob about much, but I am a snob about where I sit. But it was free. But, you know, when you got props, you got to be able to kind of see the props so you don't get it, right? So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think he has a residency now in Las Vegas.
I didn't know that.
At that level now, yeah. Who else? Jeff Dunham. I love ventriloquism.
Yeah.
Ventriloquism.
So I saw Jeff Dunham too. And if I'm not mistaken, he did an R-rated show that was even funnier.
Man, I want to watch that. Yeah, a lot of his stuff is very PG. And I want to see some R-rated, like with puppets, right? I mean, not doing it with puppets, but yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah. So when Jeff and Barry were talking about Jeff Dunham mentioned him, you know, one of them said, "Hey, I think it was Jeff. Hey, Bear, who's the guy with the dummies?" And I was about to say out loud to myself there, "Oh, the guy with the dummies. That's Sweet Lou." Turns out they were talking about Jeff Dunham.
Check.
Well, let's jump into this list.
Sure. Okay.
So we talked about Carrot Top. I enjoy. I mean, but you know, he's one of those guys you have to see. You can't see him too often, or you know, and he's not one of the guys that you could buy a CD to listen to, even though he does. So when he did his show. He did do some comedy to work up into the props. It's not just, here's a bunch of props, you know?
Yeah.
And Amy Schumer was number 24. The only thing I'll say about her, she's fell on some rough times and had some, bad cards dealt to her. I mean, it doesn't, if she stole jokes, that's horrible. However, she does have one of the guys on the show mentioned they hadn't heard anything from her in a while, but she's got a TV show called Life and Beth.
Okay.
And it's, I'm not sure we can see it, but if you Google Life and Beth, as in the girl's name Beth, as in Beth, I hear you calling. I should make it more raspy. Beth, I hear you calling. That's my Peter Criss impersonation. Then you can check that out. And apparently, it's on Hulu. She incorporates her mother, and a lot of it, some things that she went through with her mother. And I don't know, but I just heard her on NPR. I think it was Bullseye with Jesse Thorne or something, could be right. And it was kind of an awkward interview because, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes in, she's like, is this all we're going to talk about? It's like this rough time with my mom or whatever. She's like, because this is what my publicist told me this is going to be. And so the guy was like, well, it is part of it because it's whatever, right? So if you search that out, I think it is Bullseye with Jesse Thorne, and she talks about it. Really cool. It gives us some insight to the show, but I don't have Hulu, and I actually don't have room to watch anything else. I don't watch a lot of TV, but you should check it out, or not you as in Ariel, you, the proverbial audience, should go check it out.
Yeah. I remember her when she was dating Dolph Ziggler. So she would talk about like their thing.
What was it?
No, I mean, I guess when they were making love, he made it like an athletic competition. So she couldn't really keep up with them, but I don't know. She was talking about like how it was just, I don't know, like just a competition to him or something. Like just he was too athletic. He threw her around her. I don't know if that was true or not, but she mentioned when she was dating Dolph. So
I will also remember her mentioning that he was way more into his body than he was hers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Well, Lisa Lampanelli, were you a fan?
Yes, she's hella hilarious during the roasts, but that's all I really know her from. And she has some really great zingers during the roasts and everything like that, but I haven't really caught any of her specials or any of her stand-up.
Yeah, so Barry had mentioned that wasn't as funny after she lost the weight. And here's my theory on this, and this may upset some people, so if you're very sensitive, give me about 5 minutes to say my point of view and then pick back up. I think that she was funnier when she was heavier because
fat people are hilarious. That's right.
That's number one. Number two is it's easier to make jokes at someone when you can make jokes at yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Yep, and so she would talk about how big she is and that's it. Now what's she going to say? That she's unattractive or what? You know what I mean? So now it's hard for a skinny white bitch to make fun or make gay jokes or Asian jokes or black jokes when she's just a skinny white bitch. And then that's, post 2015, that's not as funny. But if you got a person that's heavier who pokes fun at themselves and then can make observation jokes of other cultures or whatever, then that's funny to certain audiences. If not, it just comes off as being mean.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I totally get what you mean. Yeah.
But
she looks great. She looks great skinny. I mean, if it was a health issue, then I'm glad.
I'd like to know the secret of how she did it. Hey, look, you and me, we got a few extra pounds. You go to the doctor, they say you need to lose weight. You know what they never say? They never say, hey, you need to lose weight, and here's how you do it.
Right.
They'll say, walk more, exercise more. Well, no shit. If I wasn't so fat, I could walk more, exercise more. But I'm fat, and I can walk only as much as I can walk. So how about...
that's why you go. That's why they have nutritionists and personal trainers. They're specializing in those type of things. I've had to talk to some of them before. So yeah, I know doctors don't give you the they'll give you a general blanket statement, but they'll refer you to a nutritionist if you have to, or you go to a personal trainer, someone that actually
Yeah, well,
does it.
what do you think your health insurance is going to pay for that crap?
Hell
No,
no, they're not.
no, but they should, right?
They should, yeah, exactly.
But you go in there, and you go, oh, my knee's hurting. Oh wow, did you do anything to it? No. Well, it's probably because you need to lose some weight. Lose some weight, and your knee will stop hurting. Shut up.
Yeah.
Make sure there's nothing broken, nothing torn, whatever.
Hmm.
Sure, maybe I do need to lose weight, but you need to be a better doctor.
Yeah. And that was Lisa Lampanelli, folks. At 21. I was just trying to, you were getting fired up there. I didn't want you to get all pissed off and everything about the medical field.
Oh no. Me and the medical field are cool. We're cool.
Okay.
But they better not tell me that. But they better not tell me I'm fat.
Well, no, you have a healthy appetite.
Well, you know what, man? Actually, I don't even eat that much anymore.
Okay, you're just fat.
I'm just fat. I'm just fat. I'm a fat Mark, like most of the people in this group.
Exactly.
But I will say this too. I am a fat, happy Mark.
There you go. That's the attitude to
have. So going on up the list.
Yeah.
I thought Norm Macdonald was hilarious. Loved his humor, but yes, he's dead. This is so. If you look at the page, Norm Macdonald isn't funny because he's dead. No, but he was. I enjoyed it. His roles in movies were a little off, but his show and the way that he talked, his delivery, I was always a fan of.
I had to. Oh man, I never really understood Norm Macdonald. Personally, like I didn't know. I mean, I don't know, something about him. I don't know. I guess it was his delivery, the way he talked. Well, you know what? His roles in movies I didn't like it. I wasn't a big fan. Yeah. I love when he did some like character actors in SNL. I mean, especially during the Jeopardy one when he was like Burt Reynolds or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
And Weekend Update.
Yeah, and that was the best one. He was really good at that. But when he did other roles, especially in movies, I just couldn't get behind it. I don't know. It was just something about it.
I agree. The next, so I'm skipping some of these. I don't know who Liza Koshy is. No idea. But jumping up to Jimmy Fallon, his show and the things that he does, like Wheel of Musical Impressions, I think is hilarious. Or he's got another one where people sing. So it's like I don't know about comedian, but he is a entertainer, and I find him very entertaining. And I mean, the Roots backing him up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that is so cool. Shout out to Philadelphia, Jamie Ward, those guys that live around there. Barry Ward, not too far from there. Because that's what
Barry Ward.
Barry Ward. Did I say that? Barry Rose.
Okay.
Shout out to Barry Rose. I will edit that one out. Shout out to Barry Rose, who does live not far from Philadelphia, as I understand it. But yeah, the Roots are from Philadelphia. Phenomenal band, and I enjoy that they play along with the songs, and they're doing the live music for the stuff. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really great.
What's your favorite Roots song, Ariel?
All of them. I don't really listen to music too much. I mean, I do, but I listen to 80s music a lot. Yeah. I'm an 80s kid.
An 80s kid?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, 90s too.
All right. Name some of your 80s or 90s artists.
Okay. Well, okay, you know what? A lot of it is the top 40 stuff. I know. It's there's people going to be out there being like, yeah. I mean, I'm a top 40 guy. Whatever was popular back in the day. But fudge. I don't really have a favorite group of the 80s. I just listen to everything.
There we go.
I love Journey. Like, well, okay. I shouldn't really say that.
What were you going to say?
No. I just realized I love Journey. So,
Oh,
nothing wrong with that.
hey man, we don't judge in this group.
Yeah, we don't
No?
judge. No, well, Steve Perry, I like Steve Perry a lot. The guy they have now sounds a lot like him, and he's doing a good job. Unpopular choice. Another unpopular choice would be I like Bon Jovi. You could boo me all you want, but I like Bon Jovi. So, yeah, I don't know. Thompson twins. Even though there's 3 of them and none of them are twins, that's the biggest farce in music. I don't know if you remember Thompson twins.
Yes. Hold Me Now? Come on,
Yeah.
get out of here. Man, I was born in 1973.
Oh, my condolences. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's I mean, to live. I don't know how it was in the 70s. How was it? Was it like, I mean, disco fever and all that stuff? You were young though.
Oh man, I look. I grew up in a junkyard, but we're getting off here. Let's jump back.
Yeah. Let's jump back.
Let me just throw in my favorite Root song is The Seed. Okay. If you haven't heard it, please go listen to it. It's a cover, but they do a couple things different. The original person did it was Cody Chestnut. So go listen to The Seed. I think it's called The Seed 2.0. Go listen to that. The Roots. It's amazing. Jimmy Fallon, I found him entertaining. Dane Cook, yes, Barry was correct. He was not very funny in the way. I mean, he was funny in the Waiting, the movie with that, but his comedy, I just didn't get. It was not my cup of tea at that time. I think I was into Mitch Hedberg, 2 completely different things. I do remember on a TV show or something they said Dane Cook is as funny as a crutch.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, he's about that funny. Was not a big fan. I hope he's well, and because I don't know if he's still doing comedy or he's writing or whatever.
I remember a couple of years back, they did. I think he did a was it a documentary or like an in-depth interview about what happened to him and his rise and fall about it. But I gotta look it up again to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, unless I'm just talking out of my ass. But it was he had money. Well, I think his brother was stealing money from him. So
yeah, Barry and Jeff mentioned it on the show.
Yeah.
And I think he had some allegations
of stealing jokes and stuff like that. So there's only so many jokes you can write, I guess. I don't know. I've never written a joke. Actually, no, I haven't. Well, I thought about stuff. I haven't really written anything.
So my friends and I, we used to sit around and just make up jokes.
Right? Yeah. So did I.
Yeah.
They were no good.
So we'd say, okay, make a joke about a horse, and then we would all have to come up with it, and we'd go around and tell our joke about the horse or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So that was when I was in my 30s.
Wow.
I had a few more brain cells back then. Next up on the list, we're at number 15. Yep. We started at 25, as unprofessional as we are. And James Corden, I love the carpool karaoke. I haven't seen anything else he's done.
I find him annoying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. George Lopez.
He was cool when I first saw him, and then his jokes just became repetitive.
Okay.
His whole shtick was the same.
Never really seen him. Andy Dick is annoying.
Oh, blah. Yeah, blah.
Steve Harvey. I
love Steve Harvey when he was in Kings of Comedy, original Kings of Comedy, right?
Yeah.
And then no more. That was it. Yeah, I don't find him entertaining on Family Feud. It's totally like what Jeff and Barry mentioned. It's or what the article. Well, I mean, right there. What on a man's body can it's been written like that. Family Feud. They purposely write questions like that to get that kind of answer, right? And it's not. I mean, it's the same thing with Steve. His reactions are always the same on Family Feud. He's not.
Well, the best thing to come out of Family Feud.
Ray Combs. I love that guy. I miss him.
I mean the new one.
Oh. What?
Holy Spirit, activate. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Hell no, I don't. What? What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I work nights and I don't get out much anymore. So what was going on?
All right, let me see if I can pull this. Let's see if I can pull this up here.
This is gonna be the worst episode. I feel it.
Bro, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit the heck out of it. So bring out China Wilson, not China from WWE. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Carney did okay. She got.
Can you hear okay?
Yeah, I can.
184. China, you need 16 points to win.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you the same 5 questions you
Hold
cannot
on.
do. Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy
my
Spirit,
God.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate. 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 All right, let's go.
11 years, this never happened before.
Right, exactly.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit.
Activate.
I said, okay.
Activate.
Come on, you can do this.
Think about it. Next
Hallelujah.
time you're down at the DMV, Holy Spirit, activate. How about the time you're sitting up there taking a test you ain't studied for? Holy Spirit, activate. Come on. All right, here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's remind.
All right.
Wendy Wilson still looks hot.
Oh man, your takeaways are amazing.
Well, no, she is. And then I love how, I mean, it's been joked before. Carney Wilson, her name basically means meat in Spanish. So, I mean, I love Carney also. But Wendy was my favorite.
Hold on. Do you love Carney Wilson or you just love meat?
A little from column A and a little from column B. Shout out to my Simpsons fans and stuff. But yeah, no. Why not?
Yeah, why
No.
not? Why not?
But yeah, Steve Harvey.
All right. So we talked about Jeff Dunham, talked about Joe Rogan. No, we didn't. Joe Rogan, I don't listen, don't watch. I thought he was a very good play-by-play or color guy, whatever he was on the MMA stuff. Yeah, he was good there.
I don't like Joe. I don't find Joe funny as a comedian, but I do listen to his podcast. And
You do?
I've noticed, yeah, I do. I've listened. I've been listening to him for years. I do kind of realize that a lot of the people that criticize him have never really. Okay, I know he's very polarizing. He does a lot of misinformation, but it's like he does. He's also, I don't know. People kind of. I guess you have to listen to him or his shows to kind of figure out the kind of person he really is, because some of the stuff that he says or whatever gets kind of, sometimes not the N-word part but stuff, but other things he says is like kind of taken out of context, or certain people he has on his show, like certain guests that are of a certain political party or view or whatever, he's not necessarily like all, like he's he'll have him on the show, but it's not necessarily what he actually totally believes in, like their point of view. He's just friends with them. I mean, but yeah, he has some interesting, like when he has his comedian friends on the show, I listen to that because it's always funny to listen to two comedians banter back and forth and just the stupid shit they say. I like when he has MMA fighters on there. See, there's certain people that I listen to when he has on. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I listen to. I mean, I don't understand a word he's saying about like astrophysics or something, but I don't know. It's just fun listening to him. Well, some of his guests. I don't listen to any of the political stuff, but yeah, certain guests he has on there, I kind of enjoy listening to. I mean, they just happen to be on his podcast.
Yeah, I don't and won't, and not a fan of Caucasians that use the N-word. That's
Right.
that's just me, and I don't care how he uses it or what he uses it. I mean, it's just an excuse just to say the word, and it's just it's a. And also, I don't care for misinformation. especially the shit that we were going through, and you're gonna kind of make it worse, because guess what? People are stupid. People are too stupid to do their own research and look stuff up, and they're just going to believe whatever is being told to them. And I'm sorry, that's Americans. We're going to believe a comedian over a medical professional, and we're going to believe this guy over what our doctor says.
Right, exactly. But he does have people that are of the medical field that actually have differing opinions too. And I mean, take what you. I mean, you could listen to it or you don't. That's the thing though. People listen to stupid shit, and I blame people doing that. And yeah, people that spread misinformation is at fault too. But it's like at the end, people should really do their research and due diligence about things first and foremost, instead of listening to celebrities or whatever.
Yeah, but we're stupid and we're lazy, and we don't want to look it up or ask our doctor their opinion on it. So I would, if I was debating something that I heard, the first person I would talk to is my doctor. If I didn't agree with that doctor, guess what? I would go to a different doctor. But I'm not going to do something just because this guy that I listen to is funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. Carlos Mencia.
I found him funny before when he had that show Mind of Mencia, but then it turns out he's just a fake. It's not even his real name.
That's not. What's his
no,
name?
It's not. Google it. Oh, okay, you're googling it right now.
I am. How'd you know?
I'm watching you.
Oh, I'm still sharing my screen.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Ned Holness.
Ned Arnell Mencia.
Well, that's.
Oh yeah. He went professionally as Ned Holness.
And previously, not professionally. Previously, had Ned.
Yeah.
Holness. Yeah. Professionally, Carlos Mencia. But yeah.
Yeah. Your name's not even Carlos, Ned.
Yeah. Ned. Well, I guess he's playing towards that. I don't know who Lily Singh is.
So when they were talking about Dat Fan, I had no idea. I thought they were talking about Fat Dan, who was a kid in my high school that loved wrestling.
That's even funnier than Dat Fan. Actually, no, Dat Fan, because a girl that I used to date, hope my girlfriend doesn't hear this podcast. This girl I used to date she did love Dat Fan. She kept saying this one joke about Dat Fan, about his name. Well, because I think he's talking about a fan, like a electric fan, like that fan over there. I don't know, whatever. I've never really heard his stand up or anything, but this girl I used to be involved with loved the guy. So that's how I knew about him.
Well, so shout out to your current girlfriend.
Yeah. Hope she doesn't listen. Love you, babe.
Ellen DeGeneres, I used to think her interviews on her show were entertaining, but her as still not stealing jokes, but being mean to people, I just can't deal with people that you hear are mean to their help.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved her TV show back in the day, Ellen. I thought it was pretty cool.
What was it, a sitcom or was it?
It was a sitcom.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a sitcom, and I used to watch it when I was younger. But yeah, I thought her interviews were cool, and then they started like having those compilations where the guests are feeling uncomfortable by the questions she's asking or the way she's asking them or her methods, and that totally put me off. And then all these other allegations of her not being a pleasant person. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how much it costs to not be an asshole?
Nothing.
Free. It's absolutely free just to be nice. So up next on the list, Jay Leno.
I don't find him funny at all. I don't. I don't find him funny at all. I never understood his appeal besides his the way he talks. I found it, like that little whiny, high pitched type of voice or whatever. But other than that,
Yeah, and he screwed over Conan O'Brien.
yeah, I love. You know what? I love Conan O'Brien. I love David Letterman. I don't like Jay Leno.
Yeah. Well, I here's a little known fact that I found out recently is Jay Leno is actually related to Antonio Inoki.
Bullshit. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
you're right. Bullshit. They both have a big ass chin.
They do. Oh, I'm looking at the chin right now. It's a huge chin.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love his car collection, but that's about it.
Next up, Seth Rogen. Don't know him. Bill Maher. Don't know him.
Yeah. Chris D'Elia. Barry got it wrong. He was not in Deadpool. That he was talking about T.J. Miller.
You are correct.
Yeah, I wanted to type that out onto the Facebook page, but no. Chris D'Elia, he's strange to me. I don't know. I haven't really heard too much stand up from him. I know he's friends with like Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, what's his name? Brian Callen. Brian Callen, another comedian that I don't find funny, that I have no idea why he's not on this list either. But yeah, and I don't know. He looks kind of creepy too. What about you? Do you know anything about Chris D'Elia?
Not a thing. Never seen him before in my entire life.
All right.
And last up, Trevor Noah.
Yeah, he's gotten too political with the Daily Show. That's not my kind of thing, and I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on him. I just don't like the political stuff that he does with the Daily Show, and
I haven't watched the Daily Show since I probably watched a few of the Jon Stewart episodes back in the day. I don't know what year that was, but I used to love Greg Kilborn on it.
Yeah. I used to watch the Jon Stewart one, like the first season he did it, and then I
didn't think he was as funny as Craig Kilborn.
No,
I liked some of the guys that were on it, Stephen Colbert, Mo Rocca.
Mo Rocca, yeah, I remember Mo Rocca. Yeah, Colbert was cool until he became kind of also way too political with things. I miss Mo Rocca. What happened to him? I remember Mo Rocca used to have this show called My Grandmother's Ravioli, and it's a cooking show that he goes to like grandmothers' homes, old women's homes, and then they cook like their specialty recipes. I used to like watching that.
Never heard of it, but he also used to appear on Chelsea Handler.
Oh, on her like little talk show?
Yep.
Okay.
And skits, and I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Whatever happened? Oh no, Chelsea Handler is now dating Joe Coy, who is another comedian I like.
He was also on her show.
Yeah. He's like, he was on there a lot, and she had that little guy Chewy.
Yes.
Like her sidekick. Yeah. So I just learned like last month, 2 months ago, that she and Joe Coy are now dating. So that's pretty cool. Good on them.
I think she was dating an executive with E previously.
I have a book. I have it on Kindle a while back of she had a book of a compilation of one night stands that she talks about. And I gotta find that file or something. It's somewhere on my Kindle app. I gotta look for it. Gotta reread it. I used to like her before too. I kind of had like a weird crush on her.
Did she mention names?
Oh no, I don't think so. No.
I liked her, but then there was a point where I saw her as sort of like a 30-something, late 30-something alcoholic.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was just there was something sad in the background of that just kind of irked me. Maybe because I was a 30-something alcoholic myself. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. That's a joke. All right, that's another one to edit. That's another one to edit. Let me write down this timestamp. Okay, timestamp 5109 will be edited. Okay.
Just leave it in there. Oh my goodness.
Hey, shout out to all the alcoholics. We still love you.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Even the late 30-something.
Yeah.
Alcoholics.
Yeah. Just don't drive, please.
Yeah,
Just don't drive.
my wife just shook my head at me.
Oh.
I mean, shook her head at me. She didn't shake my own head at me. Whoa, TMI. All right. Well, that wraps up the list that Jeff and Barry talked about. Again, let me just plug Jeff and Barry's podcast, Breaking Kayfabe with Belgian and Barry. And also, if you're not a Patreon and you can spare $5 a month, please give it to these guys. They are well worth it. And, help out production costs, blah, 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 blah. Buy them a meal. Great guys.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I have a question. Where do you rank, where do you put Jimmy Kimmel on this list? If you put him, I mean, would he be on the list for you or what?
I don't know where I would rank him. I do think he's entertaining on his show. Mm-hmm. And I think he genuinely seems like a nice guy, and that's how he comes off on the show. And that matters a lot to me these days. Someone is, seems genuinely nice and pleasant, and he seems very complimentary. And also he has some very iconic moments on the show. For instance, the drum off between Will Ferrell and Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I did not watch that. No, I didn't watch that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Okay, so when we're done here,
please
go Google drum off Chad Smith, Will Ferrell, because they look alike, right?
Oh shit! Okay, now that I think about it, I didn't think about it before. Oh god!
See, there they are. Look at.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh, that was on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Ariel. It's about that time. The time that we bring on our guest, who I don't know. I don't know who it'll be. Because no one has said they wanted to be on the show, so maybe we went through all of our guests. If you would like to be a popular co-host of Broken Kayfabe with Ariel and Frankie, please send me a message. I'll be happy to get you on.
Yeah.
And here's that guest now. All right, I have got none other than the legendary, world-renowned among multiple wrestling Facebook groups as the Crankmaster, Steven Javorsky. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem. Nice to talk to you, Frankie.
Well, I saw your post about Impact, and I always get excited that people are getting excited about wrestling. And so I thought, why don't I get his thoughts on what happened and the pay-per-view, because you posted that it was tremendous.
Oh yeah, and it's good to see that a few other people are noticing it in the groups as well. Not just me and Barry Rose, as I mentioned before, because he was actually at the tapings a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard that, and it always kills me when people are one company or another, and they trash one company or trash the other company. I just don't get it. So I think we can all like companies without having to hate or whatever. And I mean, the crazy thing is, I think they're all putting out great product, but those guys are going to be, I think Jay White's been in AEW, and they'll be flip flopping around, it looks like, for a little bit. So no use.
He was there this past Wednesday, so I was at the AEW in Pittsburgh. So Wednesday night Dynamite. So
I do not watch Impact. I'll just throw that out there. Actually, I don't watch any wrestling whatsoever. So I am counting on you to carry this recording here. and just tell everybody your thoughts. I did pull up the card just to sort of help us go by and make sure we cover the bases there.
Yeah, I mean, overall Impact Wrestling right now, I think is doing pretty good with the programming, and a lot of that has to do too recently with the Forbidden Door stuff that I think Tony Khan is all about, bringing different wrestlers in from different companies, and then of course WWE in the springtime normally, which I haven't seen yet. They normally clear out so many wrestlers and they're available, so it's like right now it's a fun time because it doesn't really matter what promotion, you don't know who's going to show up where, and I think that's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of the old days of watching Nitro and Raw. When you turned it on, you were excited because you didn't know what to expect. So, like I said, they've been going pretty. Sorry, but they've been going pretty well here the last couple years, in my opinion. Impact's really picked it up, and being on Access TV is nice. They have a home. They were bouncing around for years and years, so it's good that they have some stability, and they're really putting on heck of a show normally. So and this up to the pay-per-view.
Well, I think the unpredictability is one of the things that wrestling fans in the 90s miss about today, is that there's just no things are so laid out, especially with the WWE, mostly with the WWE. You kind of know where they're building up everything. You hear about the signings or the free agent here, the free agent there, and the other companies, you do get more of those holy shit moments of this person showing up. Right. And where that went wrong recently was the guy they brought out in the main event of one of the AEWs.
Yeah, luckily that guy wasn't there during my week last week when I was at AEW. To get zero reaction pretty much like he did before. But I don't know, you thought only Vince liked the giant guys, but apparently Tony Khan likes this giant guy from, another Indian giant. So
yeah. Hopefully he has a lesson learned on that. It's like, if you're going to have a big surprise, please make it someone that people know.
Right. Not helping Jay Lethal, who doesn't really need it.
Right.
Like he needs like a giant to back him up or something. It's just silly. And AJ Styles kind of had that on WWE recently with this Omos guy who's 7 foot whatever. They finally broke them apart, but it's like, did it make sense why he was like paired?
Yeah. Well,
established guy, let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, it's obviously the WWE was like, oh well, we'll put him with him to help get him some experience and help teach him some stuff and get him time in and all that stuff. But fans see right through that. You got two guys who couldn't be any more opposite. Yeah. They're not going to be hanging out anymore, having the conversation of, hey, why don't you come and be on my team? And I know scripted, blah 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 blah, but we watch it to suspend our disbelief. Mm-hmm. But don't insult us.
All right. Well, anyway, I can jump right in with a couple of the early matches.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, to get a little bit of explanation, I guess.
I do have one other question.
I'm sorry.
Who did the commentary?
Matthew Raywald, who used to be one of the old-timey wrestlers. I can't think of his former name in WWE. They came out to like a few years ago, like the silent movie type thing. I have to look it up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's who that is. I thought it was Disco Inferno.
No, and the other guy. Yeah, the other guy is the former lead announcer is the former Tom Phillips, who was a WWE like Raw guy and NXT and whatever. I think he bounced around for a while, and they just like cut him loose last year or so, and Impact Wrestling picked him up instantly. So I forget, he has a different last name. I don't know why it's escaping me, but he's using his real last name instead of Phillips, but it's still Todd something,
uh-huh.
But I actually like him. He's decent, so they both get it across pretty well.
I watched a clip, but it was and I thought, man, who is that? It sounds like Disco Inferno, but that makes sense. Yeah, it's the former Aiden English who was in the Vaudevillains.
English, that's right. Yeah, the Vaudevillian. Thank you. Yeah. Who's also married to Shaul Guerrero. Actually, that's a little tidbit.
Yes, sad that we didn't get to see much of her,
huh? Eddie's daughter.
Yeah.
She kind of was in and out in the wrestling business. I know she did some announcing for that WOW promotion, the Women of Wrestling. That was on. I forget. Maybe it was on Access too. Who knows? I'm trying to remember. But I know they did a bunch of tapings, so that might be seeing the light of day on TV soon. So yeah, I tell everybody I watch everything. I pay attention to what's going on. It's terrible. But
Tom half a fan. It's Tom Phillips.
Yeah, the former Tom Phillips. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So what was the first match, or what you want to start off with?
So I'll just run through a couple of things real quick. I guess they have the 7:30 pre-show on at that time before the 8 o'clock pay-per-view, and they just had the Knockouts tag match. I didn't catch it. I caught the end. The former Iconics who were in WWE. They're not called the Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And they faced the Influence, who's Tennille Dashwood, and Madison Rayne, who's been with Impact Wrestling on and off forever.
Oh.
That was for the Knockouts tag straps, and they retained the Influence, that is Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne. So I caught the tail end of that, but So next was the next one was a decent one. Maybe that was the first one. That was the second match. My fault. Chris Bay, who's part of Bullet Club now, who's he's got potential. This kid. He faced Eddie Edwards, who's been in Impact Wrestling forever, from the American Wolves tag team. You may recognize his name.
Yeah, Davey Richards.
Yes, yeah. So Eddie Edwards' thing is that he turned on Impact, even being that he was like the face for the last several years, and joined this group called Honor No More, who was a group of former ROH wrestlers who, when ROH was on hiatus, came over to Impact Wrestling and apparently signed. So he kind of joined them as a group and, turned on Impact, and now he's a heel. But I didn't catch that one because that was the first match. So
okay.
But so finally, when 8 o'clock hits, they open up with this guy, Steve Macklin, who was in the WWE and NXT. He had a different name.
Was that Steve Cutler?
Cutler, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not you said. Oh, you're good. And then Chris Sabin and, as you mentioned, Jay White. So they opened up the pay-per-view in a three-way match. And trying to see, because I think it was Macklin won. That's right. He surprisingly won, and he pinned Sabin because, of course, Jay White wasn't going to take the loss.
Yeah, so the Steve Macklin, the last thing I remember in the WWE was the thing with Jackson Riker.
Yeah,
Sons of something, or
like the military gimmick, I guess. Well, Jackson Riker is now Gunner again on the Indies. He was in the military, I know that for sure. And then that we just said Macklin, he's actually more little info. He's engaged to be married to the next match on this card, Deonna Purrazzo. And she was in the WWE, and I think I talked to you about this last time we talked. Like, she was somebody who got wasted there, and then they didn't use her at all, basically, besides house shows. Kind of like the same thing with Chelsea Green, and they were tagging. I think we did talk about that before. And now they're obviously much bigger out of the WWE umbrella. So
yeah, we saw Deonna Purrazzo in Largo, Florida. She looked like she wanted to be anywhere but there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember you said that. That's right.
Yeah. How was the match with her and Taya Valkyrie?
That was good. Taya looked a little sloppy. I don't know, because she had been wrestling for a while, maybe. I don't know, but not surprising. She won the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship. Their women's title from AAA, which I guess can be defended anywhere in any promotion. Mm-hmm. So Taya Valkyrie got that belt back. If she had it previously before she went to the NXT in a forgettable 2 months or something. Frankie Monet or something goofy. She walked out with a dog. It was just terrible.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, Deonna Purrazzo still has the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, but she had that belt prior to the whole, the announcement that Tony Khan bought ROH, and then they had that WrestleMania weekend show, and ROH had an interim champion created, and I think that Mercedes Martinez won the belt. So there's 2 ROH Women's Championships, I guess, until they could get a date with Deonna Purrazzo to drop it, I'm assuming,
Oh, that's cool. I mean, you could go somewhere with that.
Yeah, I mean, if they still want to work in some way ROH with Impact, that'd be cool. So yeah, that was a decent match. And then let's see, X Division. This Speedball Mike Bailey is a crazy wrestler. He's come on the scene recently, at least in my way, that I've never really heard of him. He's really, really good. And Trey Miguel is the current X Division champion at the time of this show. And then Ace Austin, who's been around for a long time in Impact Wrestling as well.
So Trey Miguel was part of that group that was all of them were hired to the WWE except for him.
They were the Rascals, yeah. And then the two that went to the WWE, the one just got cut because of his girlfriend or wife, that Kimberly, who was also in Impact Wrestling, accused him of some type of, abuse or something. Who knows? People are defending him though, so I don't know. And it's WWE's first thing they're going to do is they're going to cut loose. So who knows what's true?
Yeah, I saw he had posted or had taken a picture of him with a Hitler mustache doing a salute.
Oh yeah, there was that too. Okay, so that might have came up. I guess you're right. I think about that first because she was putting out stuff about nobody knows what's really going on type stuff on Twitter. Then she would take it down. That came across my news feed. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And of course, they cut him. And then it's funny, his partner, and I forget what they call him in WWE now. They're like, oh well, down at I think it was like on NXT last week or so. They're like, well, you had to relinquish the tag belts, so you're now a single star. It's like they didn't really have any explanation of why.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's so dumb. $1 billion company.
At least do like the what was it? The Rock and Roll Express beating Manny Fernandez and Rick Rude back in the day. Like make it a ghost switch and just show a clip from a match from a house show or whatever the hell they did back on NWA JCP back then.
Absolutely.
Just make it up or something, but. I mean, but of course the internet would probably they would shit on that. Well, it didn't really happen, but nothing's really happening. And these are all predetermined things that are happening in the show. So
yeah, that's my point exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I'm like a real nerd for like the lists and all that. And then when you look up the title lineage, it's just going to say what it's going to say on the internet, like just given up for no reason or he was cut, just silly. So anyway. That X Division match was really, really good. Those guys, all three of them could go. Trey Miguel, I think, is a blessing in one way that the two left and made him a single guy here because I think he's going to be the future in Impact Wrestling for sure. But he did drop the belt to Ace Austin. I think it's his third time as the X Division champion in a decent match, which I'm sure, like I said, to a lot of people who's like, oh, where can I see it if I don't get access? I'm like, well, you could at the very least, you could go to their Impact page, or I'm sorry, Twitter page and check out at least the last bit of like clips.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always real quick with that. So is WWE and everybody else nowadays, but
Yeah. Let me ask you about this move that I'm reading. Bailey braced off of Miguel's midsection and delivered a German suplex to Austin.
Yeah, he did that. Like I think he did it twice where he jumped on like both of them like a stomp.
Wow.
I mean, there's some wild stuff. I mean, they have to. It's kind of funny. I always think of poor Petey Williams, who was an Impact guy forever, who like created the finisher, the Canadian Destroyer, and now like people do these type of moves, and now it's like something like you just mentioned. They would have to like outdo something like that nowadays, where that thing was like amazing to look at when he first did it. Now everybody does it like a mid-move match, or I'm sorry, mid-match move.
Yeah, you're right.
It takes it away, but that was like a great finisher. But. So yeah, I think there's a clip. This is what the X Division is all about. And I think they might have shown it looking at this one thing. So anyway, Ace Austin wins, third time winning that. And I missed this clip and I didn't catch it. EGV is coming. And now that I look at this, I totally forgot to look back because I forget I walked away or something before the next match happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play now since we're talking, but there's some, like a promo, like a vignette. But the next match was a real brutal match. Jonah, who was in WWE NXT as
Bronson Reed,
right? And then Ishii, who's getting around, the Stone Pitbull from New Japan. Seems like he's in town, and I think he wrestled recently in other promotions as well. like this past week, but they went back and forth. And that's what I'm saying. Like this was a match you probably would want to see, just because, it's Impact. But people are putting on Ishii on New Japan when it's on TV, or they're watching him wrestle on AEW when he shows up. So, and that was just two big brutes and going back and forth and, stiff stuff. Jonah spears Ishii and then follows up with the tsunami splash. But then Jonah gets the brain. That's right. Ishii gets him up for a brainbuster. That's a big dude to get up for a brainbuster for the win. So that was pretty cool. And definitely that Jonah guy seems that he's getting a push a little bit in Impact Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was kind of cool. They had they had Violent by Design, who was Eric Young's group. You may remember him.
Yep.
EY. Yeah. They're the tag team champions, and they had a defender titles against 7 other teams, and they retained. So that's kind of cool. But actually, the fact is that not the fact, but I think it had like 3 surprise teams, and it wasn't like anybody that made me think that was gonna, go over and win. And it's kind of funny, like they mentioned the 7 teams. And every time somebody it was an elimination match. So, 2 teams start off, then the next team loses, next team comes in until the final 2. And in my head, I just knew the way they were going to operate. It's like, this team's got to be coming out next, and this team's coming.
Uh-huh.
It's sad when you could call it. I always joke with my friends, and I could write this stuff, especially with Impact. You could definitely tell what they were going to do with the next team coming in. Especially if teams are mixed up with each other prior. Have some heat or something, but. One of the cool things was the Major Players debuted as a tag team, which is Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, and they're kind of like paying homage to the Impact players in the back at ECW. Candido and Lance Storm. They were ECW champions years ago, so it's kind of like that not rip-off, but the Major Players sister to Major Brothers. So anyway, not to bore you, but like all the teams went through, and then Violent by Design ended up retaining, and nothing really special. I mean, they did have that. Let's see, who is it? Good Brothers were in the match. Zicky Dice and Johnny Swinger, which was the comedy guys, they were in the match. Zicky Dice is picking up steam too. He's a pretty flamboyant guy. If you see him on the internet, he's pretty funny.
Yeah, I watched him back with the NWA.
Okay, right, yeah. Then Rich Swann and Willie Mack were in the match, as they've been tag teaming for a long time. And then Honor No More, who I mentioned is a former Ring of Honor guys, came in, and at least for the tag team for this was, of course, Matt Taven and Matt Bennett, who were they were called the OGK, the Kingdom back in the original Kingdom back in ROH, and of course they come out with Maria, which was Mike Bennett's wife, Maria Kanellis.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's good. I like those guys a lot. In fact, I might meet Taven this Saturday. That's a whole other story, but I'm going to a show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then Heath and Rhino came out, and then in the end, Violent by Design escapes and they win. So nothing like too crazy. Just everybody gets their moves in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a long match, but I guess it took time for the last 2. So the last one was, which I'm kind of sad, Rosemary, who I like and has been around for a very, very long time in Impact, kind of like the knockout, like the longest longevity, and she wrestled Tasha Steelz, who's the champion, and Tasha Steelz retained. Nothing was that I could think of was, too crazy there, but it was a decent match as usual. Like I said, I think Tasha Steelz is really coming up, and Rosemary can always go. And I like that gimmick of decay, like the evil, whatever, makeup and all that. I like Kiss, so, of course. And that led up to the main event, which was a great main event and a great lead up, which was the Walking Weapon against Josh Alexander against Moose, who is the champion, which happened to be his birthday on Saturday too. So they had this whole feud leading up to where, like, even a few weeks ago, Moose showed up at like his house and, scared his wife and kid and just said, tell your dad I want to get it, I want to fight him and all that. So a lot of build up for this match over the last several weeks, and the payoff was great because Josh Alexander did win after there's several countouts, not countouts, but near falls left and right, how it is. But they both put on, as the kids say, a banger of a match. So then, Alexander came in, he put the belt on, and his wife came in. His kid is dressed just like him with the headgear and the trunks. It was kind of like a cute, family moment.
Uh-huh.
And it's been building. Like, the fans were getting behind him because he used to be in a tag team with Ethan Page, who's now in AEW. And, once Ethan Page left Impact Wrestling, Josh was just kind of lingering, and they slowly built him up as a good face. And obviously it paid off with a nice moment at the end. And like I said, I know I ran through that fairly quick, but that's just like a great example of a great show with all the storylines leading up perfectly, especially the end, that last one. It's like a good build. Like, I don't know. Like I said, people make fun of Impact and whatnot, but at least for every match, to me, and I know they do it for WWE too, especially for the big shows, but it just seems like nothing's thrown together. It was like each one had like a little bit of a story to where it happened or how it came to be, and even where the first match, Chris Bay wrestled Eddie Edwards. Like I said, Eddie Edwards was supposed to wrestle Jonathan Gresham, who was the current ROH champion, but he had a concussion the week before on AEW's Battle of the Belts, like Saturday before. So that's when they filled in Chris Bay. It was Bullet Club, but it was cool because Eddie Edwards, he's like, kind of like he's in the group, and Bullet Club has to, put their foot in our business too, type stuff. So at least they explained a little bit of how, I'll take care of Chris Bay too then,
Right. Yep. That was smart.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's a good product that's on every Thursday, and I wish people would watch more because it's like right on par with. Listen, AEW is my favorite. I have to admit, and I've always liked Impact because back when Impact started. Back in the day, TNA, I was always like a WCW guy. So anything against WWE or competition, I was always for it and getting behind it. And they brought people in and stuff. And of course, mistakes are made, and they turned over a zillion times, with Jeff Jarrett and everybody else, Dixie Carter a zillion times over, whoever else owned it. But now it's like in a solid spot. So it's not really going anywhere. And it's like people do want to go there too, wrestlers. And that's great. Like I said, you never know who's going to show up, and half these guys that I saw last night could be on AEW next week, or I'm sorry, Saturday night on this pay-per-view. Something that could show up there as well. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. And it's on Access TV.
Right. And obviously, like I said, Jay White's he was at AEW this week, and he's going to continue to be in AEW, and he just did that pay-per-view for them there because he's part of Bullet Club on Impact. Like Gallows and Anderson are back with Bullet Club. So that contingent is on Impact Wrestling as a big-time thing name-wise. I mean, obviously Bullet Club has kind of went a little bit for a while, but Jay White seems to be bringing it back. But he's involved with the Good Brothers again because they came back. So I don't know how. I'm trying to follow New Japan because they just finally put it on Access again. Actually, it's right after Impact to be New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I think it's like a few weeks behind, and I don't know how the Bullet Club is there, or like how good they are still there as a group. I know Jay White's still there, obviously. But they did kick out like Tama Tonga and some of the original guys, so I'll have to see. But I think it's more outsiders that are still in the Bullet Club that are in Japan. Maybe, I don't know.
Is Tama Tonga still in New Japan?
Yeah, they were actually, like I said, that the Good Brothers a few weeks ago, they rejoined the Bullet Club with Jay White, and they turned on Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. I guess they're was a brother or cousin. I don't know. I forget, but
I think it's a brother.
Yeah,
he's
okay. So
adopted brother.
So they're like Haku's kids or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So they turned on them and rejoined the Bullet Club and kicked them out, which is weird because, like I said, that Tama Tonga at least was there since day one of Bullet Club. But then, they tease the Elite and stuff on AEW. You have Red Dragon and what is it? Adam Cole, and they're like interacting with the Young Bucks. So those are kind of former Bullet Club. At least three of them are Bullet Club members. Adam Cole was one, very almost a leader. I guess he was a leader back in ROH days. He was champion of Bullet Club before they kicked him out, before he went to the WWE. So yeah, everybody just spins around after a few years, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, that's, like I said, Impact's on fire right now. I truly believe, and it's just a good all-around wrestling program. I don't feel, I mean, there's jokey stuff here or there, but I don't feel like super insulted when I'm watching it. It's just like go to the ring and match after match after match. I mean, there's stuff in between, like you said, interviews and stuff, but overall, it's one match after another. And that's about it on my review for Rebellion.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And I got one more question for you, and this is just coming off the cuff. What is the '1 Kiss album?
I'm going to say Rock and Roll Over is my favorite.
Wow.
Start to finish.
1976 came out.
Yeah. One of two. So, because back then Kiss was they're pumping out like 2 records a year. So, like Dress to Kill before it is very good as well. I love that. But I mean, like just overall, start to finish for me, that's my favorite. But that's like saying, like, who's your favorite kids? I guess, you love them all.
Well, yeah.
I honestly love every Kiss album. I could even like some of the ones like just before Revenge came out in '92 when they were in leather again, like the tail end of the Hair era.
Mm-hmm.
I still can sing along to every song. So
yeah, Rock and Roll Over had I Want You, Calling Dr. Love, Ladies Room. These are some of my favorites I remember as a kid. I am looking at a list.
Dress to Kill, I believe.
What'd you say?
Ladies Room on Dress to Kill, I thought.
This Wikipedia says it's on side A.
Yeah, wrong. Okay.
Of Rock and Roll Over, and then Mr. Speed, and then of course one of my all-time faves, Hard Luck Woman.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great ballad, and it's definitely better than If I Don't Have to. Yeah, Baby's Driver. It's right after. Yeah, what am I doing? I should have known that. Anyway, Mr. Speed is. I love that song.
Well, I had every Kiss album up until I don't remember the 90s.
Right.
Well, let's see. No, I did not. Up until the mask come off. The mask. Oh my gosh. Up until the face paint came off, and then I stopped.
So that was '83 when that happened.
So I had the Elder. I did have that one.
Yeah.
I had. Let's see.
I'm surprised anybody that's not like. I mean, you're a Kiss fan enough. You're not like diehard. Like the Elder probably is like one that's people hate that, but it's really grown on me over the years.
Well, back then you just went and there was no sampling. You just either bought it or you didn't.
And you put it on. You're like, what the hell is this? This.
Yeah, well, they had the one song on there. Two, World Without Heroes, and I kicked ass. I would, and of course, being the wrestling fan, I would play my entrance music on my record player in my room. Then I would come out and pretend like I was kicking someone's ass.
Yeah, there's some good footage without Ace playing on guitar when they toured, and they did some type of like Dick Clark show when that record came out, and they're lip syncing through the video of I.
Oh they did it on Solid Gold, and I remember watching it.
Yeah, I know there were some other ones. I think they were overseas, like shows like that too.
Jules Holland and stuff like that.
They were hitting all the spots to get it on, but it's obviously like everybody was doing that back then. Like, let's play the recording. They can mimic it on stage in front of like whatever people are in the crowd dancing or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's
the loop.
There's some good stuff on that record, and it's gotten a bad rap because of like they went and they did a story, instead of especially coming off Creatures of the Night around that time period. That was just really great record, start to finish. Like, super heavy.
I had Lick It Up. I did have some ones with the makeup off.
That was the first one with makeup. Lick It Up.
Oh yeah. You're right. Because with Elder, they had short hair. They cut their hair.
Right. Yeah. Paul had like a purple headband on, and Gene cut his top portion. The thing that was stuck up on top.
Yeah, they went for just a little bit different look.
Yeah, and that didn't really work for them. So, but I think I'm not sure what that went. But hey, in the end, they've sold the most gold records out of any band ever. So that at least.
If I had to pick one, I'm not going to say it's the best because I'd probably be fighting people all day. But if I had to pick one that I would play, and I could only play one Kiss record, it would be Dynasty.
I was going to say it. I knew it.
Yeah.
My wife loves that record too.
Man,
yeah,
I love the disco. Who was that that did that? Bob Ezrin, maybe?
He probably did produce that because he was always producing.
But man, I love that one. I love the cover, the 2000 band. Man, that whole album. I mean, I would play that front to back constantly.
I tell you what, if you listen to the Stones version, well, the original version, I guess. It's a different time period, I guess. But
yeah.
They made that song a lot better.
Yeah, I would agree. I did, and when I found out that it was a cover, of course, I didn't know as a 19-year-old kid, but finding out that it was a cover, I had to listen to it, and I was like, okay, completely different.
On that one too, Peter's got Dirty Living's a good song. Charisma. I mean, that whole album is great. And I know it's that, but there's I Was Made for Loving You, but that's the song that they still play now, and that was their huge hit. Granted, they were going with the times, the disco era, if you will, but the rest of it's some heavier stuff.
Yeah. Well, they did that. I Was Made for Loving You, and Paul did the gimmick over the crowd on the wire. Here he is, 60 years old, and doesn't look it. He's not like picture a 60-year-old wrestler. He doesn't look like that guy. I mean, well, Sting probably looks pretty good, right? But
oh wow, I tell you.
But Paul's got his shirt off and hair all hanging out. And then he goes and he spins around this thing and the microphone's spinning. So he has to go with it and he's walking. And I mean, it was amazing to see. And that's the song they did with him out there. And then of course he goes back.
Yeah. He rides the wire or whatever. Yeah, I was going to mention real quick. Speaking of Sting, when I saw him this past Wednesday on AEW, and he was in the crowd under the Sting mask and he pulls it out and he has his face paint and he starts beating up people, and he leapt off the balcony again onto a bunch of people. And he was like right down below us. I'm like, this is crazy.
Oh, I didn't realize you were right there.
Well, we're below us. We were on section 102. So I was like straight across, but they had an opening behind the floor seats, and Sting was definitely they had it set up. It's almost like he walked past behind it. He was like right down below us. And then he was over to the right where he leapt off onto, I don't know, 3 or 4 people. But I mean, just that, like, he's just doing these things so nonchalantly for his age is just amazing. Like there's no pause. There's like no pause or anything. Just like, it looks like Sting from 20 years ago.
well, yeah.
Place with nuts too,
And him pulling off the mask. I mean, that's a cool way.
And he's done it several times before, but he had a baseball cap on backwards. He had a sign like Ghosting or something, and like the one dude ripped it up, and then as soon as he ripped up the sign, he pulled off the hat and the mask, and the place went nuts.
Yeah, I mean that's tremendous.
And it was a lot fuller. I've been to 3 shows because they do it at the Peterson Event Center, which is where the Pitt Panthers play their basketball. Because I guess Vince probably WWE has our main arena, which is PPG Paints Arena, wrapped up,
Mm-hmm.
And they really filled this place up compared to the last 2 times. I could definitely see the growth in AEW. And it was a hot crowd for everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that you go and you're so excited about it.
Yeah.
Today when I told my wife, I've had the drizzling shits for 2 days now, and Joe Christie would get a kick out of it. But
I think that's going around, I hear.
Yeah, and
even up here. So
I had the drink at the craft fair that we were at. It's out in the street, and probably about an hour after eating that, I started to feel nauseous. And it was some kind of strawberry drink with boba pearls, and and then had the pineapple on it. And so I've just been sick ever since then. And I started to feel better this morning. I ate a little bit, and then I started to get sick again. And I was laying in the bed, and I told my wife, "Oh, I got to get up and record with Stephen Javorsky in a few minutes." She said, "Is that the penis guy?" I said, "What, the penis guy? Aren't all guys the penis guy?" And so I was like, "Oh yeah, crank off, yeah, cranks it off." And I had to explain to her that I'm not talking to a habitual masturbator. We're not having an intervention, but it's just like you're, excited.
I work from home. You know what I mean?
You're excited over wrestling,
Yeah, I mean, just a little side story. You might have seen the post. And thank you for hanging on if you're still not feeling too well, but as I'm rambling. But we were there Wednesday, like I said, and we were pre-gaming at a bar called Mario's in Oakland. And we go upstairs, and lo and behold, Britt Baker, her parents and family are like, and other wrestlers and one of the guys who runs a local wrestling company are all there. So like they hand terrible towels out to everybody, and they want to show, like, and they're like, "Oh, let's get a picture together." I'm like, we're just like thrown into this group. And I knew a few people there. A couple of my friends showed up that know the family better, but I didn't expect to go into their party. And her mom came over and talked to my wife's ear off for a while. It was pretty funny,
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was kind of cool to be in the mix. And like I said, it's like, as I was about to say, they took a picture and they sent it to Britt while she was like getting ready for the show. Like, they're like, "Hey, let's go," like do a little video and pictures. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah. You're just like crash that party.
Well, we kind of went up there, and there was a table to the side, and then I know a guy who I used to work with in a different job a few years ago. He actually runs IT for the company now, or at least works with IT for AEW. And I know his friend. He walked upstairs. I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And what's going on? And my other friend showed up, and then we realized, oh, this is Britt's family. But her parents walked over to us and be like, "Oh, here's terrible towels," which I didn't want to touch because obviously I'm a Browns fan. So I'm like, I'm like, my wife's like, "Just take it."
Yeah, good call, Mrs. Javorsky.
Don't embarrass. So it was fun. It was like kind of like, I know a few people around like locally wise, but it was really cool to just happen upon it in a way, and then see people that I knew that were, two of my friends showed up too. So that was wild.
So how often are they up there?
It's been 3 times. So I guess once a year. Well, I guess 2020. It was right before 2020. I think it was November 19 was the first show, and then 2020 happened, and obviously nothing happened probably till mid 2021 for anything. Shows finally getting ready to happen, and that was like the first AEW show was sometime last year, or the second one, after the comeback from COVID and all that. So probably I would expect maybe still early, we'd probably get another one this year. Because of course, when Britt Baker came out last Wednesday, she had a couple Steelers players with her, etc. So it's a whole big deal. So I'm sure they want to, capitalize more on the Pittsburgh scene with her and have her here again. Probably by the end of the year, who knows? But yeah, so this week there's a show that I'm going to this Saturday, and it's NEW, which is Northeast Wrestling. They're pairing up with IWC, which is our local fed from Pittsburgh for like the last 22 years. Actually, it's been going strong. And the Hardys are showing up, and Thunder Rosa is showing up for that show. So those are my plan to drop money to meet them, because who knows when I'm ever going to see that again. So might as well. So that should be fun.
Awesome, man. I'm so glad that you're so excited over wrestling. I
know. I'm 45 years old, and it's like I can't talk. Like I met what's his name, Brian Cage, like a couple years ago, and I got a picture with him real quick. Hey, whatever. And my wife's like, "You can talk to these guys," I'm like, I just get like nervous. I'm like, like a little kid again,
Yeah. I'm the same way. I am horrible at small talk, no matter who it is.
Right.
Like if you want to have a in-depth conversation and talk about stuff, but that first little bit of hey, I like that match that you had with Jack Briscoe. I don't know. I mean, I just never know how to cross that.
And you don't know what they're like too, to the extent like there's some people that are chatty. I mean, we've seen Rhino a few times where you can have a long conversation with him and you don't feel like you're wasting his time or that you're stopping from other people to come up behind. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To get their autograph, whatever. Like they'll take the time, so that's cool. I mean, been watching these guys for years, especially the Hardys too. They're like my age, so it's someone around that. And I'm like, well, if they're coming, they're making their rounds. I might as well meet them. And I'm a big fan of Thunder Rosa. I think she's the best female wrestler like going today, and she really gets a big pop when she comes out too. So she's very over right now.
Yeah. She might be over in part due to her Instagram.
Yeah, there's always nice photos. But like I said, it's not even that. Like when I say, like I was telling people, I think she's like the hottest wrestler going. I was like, I don't mean that, attractive wise, what she is. I'm just saying overall the package. Like right now, she's probably the hottest women's wrestler.
Well, that was nice. That's nice of you to say.
Yeah, that's how I try to. I don't want to, come across like I do on the group pages with some of the stuff.
Good call. Good call.
I didn't call her a broad. I didn't call her broad yet.
Hey, if you do see Matt Hardy, ask him if he remembers making about 4 sets of tights for me in the late 90s.
Oh, he made okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And he might. He had to send me a check back on one because I paid him. I want to say $250 for a robe that he was making, and then he got the WWE contract. And I gave him about another 6 months and said, hey, I know you're busy with WWE. If you can't make it, how about just sending me my money back? And he sent me a check.
That's good.
Yeah, it was. I based it on a robe that Triple H wore to one of the. So it had to be. I don't know. It's a green robe that he wore, and it had to be like a WrestleMania or something. I only saw him wear it once.
As Triple H, or you mean like a Paul
Hunter,
Levesque?
yeah, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Yep.
Yeah, that type. That's Paul Levesque. Yeah, he was Triple H at that point. Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Same gimmick, just different name.
I would love to have had it, but I knew my man was busy with it, making money and stuff, and now he's busy making babies.
Oh God, yeah, I think she's expecting another one, and then another one's just another. Was already a baby. Just had one last year. It's crazy.
Yeah, spitting them out.
But they got enough room on that big ass area they live in.
Compound, yeah, the compound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for a picture of the robe that it was going to look like. I probably shouldn't. Well, here's a side one. It's a side picture of it. Oh, look, somebody made like a. Here, I'll share this with you real quick. No, it's not that one. It's not the all green one. But it looks sort of like this one here. I'm gonna share. That one right there.
Okay, now I see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all right. I caught it. I got it.
I screwed that one up. But yeah, that was it. But yeah, if you meet him again, ask him if he remembers. I think it was 4. It may have been 3, but I think it was 4. I still have 2 of them. Oh, so maybe it was 3, because one of them was a mask gimmick, so I could work twice on the shows.
Oh, there you go.
I used a Super Astro mask. And then the first time that I went out there in this place that I worked frequently, I heard the person say, I think that's the Hollywood Kid. And so I said, I'm never wearing that again. I did wear it, but just different towns. And then, mainly when people wanted me to job, and I was too proud to job as my regular gimmick. So I would just throw on a mask and
put the hood on.
Those big indie wrestler egos.
Yeah. Like Mike Mills, he thinks he can get around wearing FUBU and looking tough. Guy like that.
Yeah, the NWA World Champion. Come on, get out of here.
I was going to make fun of him one time because I think he I was like, well, even so and so or Tommy Rich didn't even have a brass knucks championship, and of course Tommy Rich was one of his first titles, so I couldn't make fun of that one. Like the only strap Mike Mills had, I believe, one of them, I think he had like the brass knucks of that UWF he worked for, but so I was like, oh geez, that's all you can get, and then I look at Tommy Rich, I'm like, oh wait, he had it, so I can't rip him on that.
Yeah. Tommy Rich came to a show with Doug Gilbert and took the person's money and didn't work, allegedly.
Yeah.
But I think that was in my hometown.
Those two are attached to hip still to this day to showing up the same promotions, it seems.
Well, cool, man. Gilbert. Thank you so much for joining
thanks
me
for
and giving me that. Yeah, man. No, I saw that Rebellion and you liked it, and actually I watched a couple of clips on the YouTube, and I was like, man, it would be great just to hear your point of view on it, and hopefully some people will go check out Impact on Access.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, real quick, that people don't like you say, maybe don't catch the current wrestling or you think it's a certain way. When really these are, I mean, you're going to have your dives and flips. That's the way it is these days. That's just it, But overall, the matches in itself are very good. So, and I think that's what you see on AEW a lot, not the same stuff you see going through the motions in WWE, which, I could call out everything I watch at this point,
Yeah. And the main thing with the WWE is you know exactly where the storylines are going. I mean, there's no shock. And if they get their hands on somebody like Talia Valkyrie, you know that they're just going to give her some stupid gimmick with a dog.
That's what you just wait. As soon as I see somebody get signed, I'm like, all right, where's the dumb name and how are they going to bury them somehow and not do anything with them when they're a good talent.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, hey, we saw you over there doing this, and we thought you were pretty good, but we're not going to use any of what you did.
Right. And that's almost insulting. I mean, listen, we all know that WWE has a certain group of fans that probably do not watch other programming, but there's a lot of people that do watch everything, or at least a few things, and you're like insulting their intelligence by giving them a stupid name. But they've done that for years. So, that's probably why I like JCP growing up, because it was always more realistic to me. I didn't have, say I didn't have the big boss man or, goofy worker gimmicks, like deployment. I got a job doing a plumber in this garbage. So
yeah, that's true. It's someone that could be a real person. I watched the clip of it was a Crockett Cup where Dusty and Nikita teamed up and Magnum came out, and just the pop, it just reminded me of that time of just how over wrestling was at that time.
He's coming out and he has the cane and he's so frail and you can see the tears. I mean, that's like a moment. That's like what the magic of watching wrestling when you're younger, and it's like, it's hard to replace that now, obviously being, middle-aged. But like I said earlier, when new people show up and the excitement of that is something that is exciting nowadays, when you don't know who's going to show where. Like Cody, for example, showing up at WrestleMania, after you thought he'd be at AEW forever. So.
Right. Yeah. That was a good call.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, Kevin, I saw a clip of Kevin Owens. Somebody was talking crap to him, while he was in the ring, and he's like, he had, I want to say Roman Reigns in a chin lock, and he was said to somebody was heckling him, and he says, so it had to be about money, and Kevin Owens says, I just got a royalty check for $35,000. Right. I mean, you don't yell at the dude for re-signing with the WWE, because he's making a ton of money.
And it's amazing that I'll do this one more short thing and I'll let you go, because I know I keep going. But Ryan, I was a big fan of Kevin Steen in ROH, and he became the world champion there. And we saw them several times in Pittsburgh. That when I'm in ROH for the last decade, they've come many times in the area, and I've seen them almost every time. But years ago, I went to the ECW arena before they redid it to the way it's all nice now. And it was like 06, and I saw Kevin Steen, super skinny. He was working, it was a CZW show, Combat Zone Wrestling. And I just went in there just because I wanted to get in that building. I didn't care who was wrestling. But of course, I saw future guys like Cesaro was there and a whole bunch of other name guys that came through there. But I mean, to see Kevin Steen and him to say that he got that royalty check and to see him in 06 being a skinny, like, not that he has a physique, but he had even less of a physique back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's, all these years later, it's something.
Well, we also grew up in the times of Terry Gordy, Dick Murdoch, Dusty Rhodes.
I don't mind that. These guys don't, half the guys that get blown up or get muscular like that, as you've seen in the years, at least in the 80s, have all, passed away,
Right, yeah.
Certain times that are, I want to say, abusing steroids or anything like that, but like the muscle guys back then. And even today, some guys are just too much, but you're seeing a lot more of relaxed physiques now.
Yeah, Kevin Owens can go. So, everybody should just, anybody that trashes him, and I hear legends trash him, once in a while if I listen to their podcast. I'm like, hey, shut up, man. The guy's making money. He's over. If the fans, stop believing in him because of the way he looks, a la Ric Flair in his last WCW appearance where he had to wear his shirt, he looked so bad, that might be time for a conversation. But, he looks good and good enough, and he's not a body guy, but he can work.
Well, yeah. There's guys like Eddie Kingston, and I always joke with my wife. I'm like, hell, he makes me feel like pretty good about myself when I walk around with my shirt off around the house or something.
Yeah.
See Eddie Kingston in the ring, his guts, he's just like a regular guy throwing fists, I'm like, hell.
But man,
I look.
Yeah, but he's got something everybody wants.
Yeah.
Everybody can have a better body, but not everybody can talk a better game.
Yep, they got that it factor. He does. He gets everybody riled up.
I mean, you believe what is coming out of that man's mouth. That's the truth. When he was in there with Jericho and going back and forth,
they had that build up for that match, and that was great. Him and Jericho for sure.
And Jericho did the right thing.
Yeah. Wow. You always know if Jericho drops out or something, that Fozzie's on tour, which they are. So I brought my one friend to AEW, and he's like, man, oh, it was great seeing Sting. And he's an old fan, but he hasn't watched recently. He goes, but I wish Jericho was there. I'm like, well, he's actually in Virginia tonight. As I look, he's playing with Fozzie, so he definitely wasn't there. Sorry. Maybe next time.
Well, awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Give me your time.
Anytime.
Awesome.
Thanks, Frankie. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.
Yep. We'll talk soon. Bye.
All right, bye. And Ariel, we're back with another amazing conversation.
Wow, that was long. That was a very long conversation there. No.
So, like I said, if you'd like to be a guest, please message me, message Ariel. I know in the future.
Don't message me. I'm going to be asleep.
Please message this guy. Tell him, hey, Ariel, I want to talk to you, not Frankie. Frankie stutters and stammers and goes, and okay. And, Tim, what's the thing that I say all the time that I have to edit out? All right. So maybe, I don't know, but
really?
Yeah. I when I edit myself, I'm like, oh, geez, that sounds horrible. I'll leave you in because you sound great.
Nah.
There is someone that I hope to get on the next couple of weeks. Michael Herrick, good friend of yours, good friend of mine. He was also there at the CWF Legends Fan Fest, so he wants to talk to the both of us. So you might have to suck it up, big boy, and jump on here and have a conversation with us.
Wow, that sounded kinky. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I'll do that. Woo! No, I would love to talk to Michael. He's a good friend. He's a good brother. Yeah, I just gotta find time, but let me know. I could probably call in sick, and we can.
No.
You know what? No. I need a break, Frankie. I'm working 7 days this week. I'm working 7 days next week.
Okay.
So.
Well, we'll start working on your career in radio broadcasting.
No. I mean, I would love to have a break, though. Actually, I have to talk to my boss about it, because if I'm working weekends from now going forward for the next, I think, 5 months, 3 to 5 months, he can give me some weekdays off, so I don't have to be, because he knows I'm gonna get burned out quickly. I put on a lot more responsibility at work, and unfortunately, I'm the only one that can do it so far. So Yeah, I mean, let me know. I'll take that day off, and I'll totally. The company will not, the company will not go bankrupt if I take a day off. That'd be great. I just need some rest.
Well, they might be a little sadder because you're not there, though.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care about them. I'm just kidding. I hope they don't listen. No, actually, I really do appreciate everything they've done for me, and I'm very thankful to be working there. But
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about me. I thought you were like saying you're appreciative of everything that I've done for you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Meaning the podcast, but no, you're putting over your work
because they pay me.
Oh yeah, okay.
No, you know what? We talked about this sex doll you've been making for me off air, and I'm just kidding. He's not doing that, folks.
Or am I?
Yeah, you did ask for my measurements, which was
I did.
Odd.
That's true. That's true. And what did I tell you I was making?
What were you? I don't remember.
You
what
don't?
Was it?
I
just remember.
Yeah.
I just remember a doll of some sort.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said it looked exactly like you. So you.
Oh yeah, and I told you to make them like really tall, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Buff.
Nope. No? We're making it. Is it like your doppelganger?
Oh, gross. Who's gonna? At least you know what? Yeah. Okay. That can be my stand-in for. On that note, this is the worst episode ever. I'm sorry, everybody.
Now that we all have that image in our heads of Ariel, doing the deed. Yeah. Thank you all, everyone, for listening. Thank you for the downloads, and thank you for the love. And hey, if you got a chance and you can make it to the CWF Legends Fan Fest, please come down, hang out with the brothership. Also see a bunch of legends before they stop doing the tours and the whatnot. So a lot of cool people that you don't see at conventions a whole lot are coming to this one, and you get to hang out with the brothershippers. Also. Make sure you listen and become a Patreon subscriber to Breaking Kayfabe with Baljan and Barry. And this is a production of Ariel and Frankie here in our homes. Outlaw Mud Showing it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.